Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Uh-oh. Let me check my check. Lord. Those AirPods. Okay. I'm just working on my sound. Trying to figure out why I got a nice little echo when I'm hooked up to the headset. Let's try again. And, and, okay, let's see. Does that work? Hi, Nancy. Welcome. I am just trying to figure out why I have some audio challenges. So just give me 1 second. Mute the mic. I'm sorry. Audio. Okay, is that better? Nope. I'm trying to give y'all 2 cameras. And it's not letting me. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, is that better? Okay. Hi, Bella. Hi, Belinda. Okay, tell me, can you hear any echoing? Nancy, can you hear any echoing? Any echoing? Belinda, Teresa, Bella, you hear anything on your end? I feel like it's good to go. No echoing. Okay, we're going to dive right in. So welcome. We are going to be sewing new look. So this is my first time. Thank you, Nancy. This is my first time doing a new look pattern. And we're going to be doing this sweater dress. But we're going to be going off script a little bit, doing things a little bit differently. Because this pattern is serger friendly, which expedites things a significant amount. The other thing is that we're doing view B, which is this view right here. And the biggest differences are you have the neckline, and then you also do not have the pockets on the front. And so the main reasons that I didn't want to do, I did cut out the pockets. Initially, I was thinking I was going to do the pockets, but the dress does have a much looser fit than what I like. And it's not that I don't like it with the looser fit. It's definitely what I would consider like work appropriate. You can wear some, knee-high boots under it, and it's looking really cute. Nice little scarf, all of that. It's going to look really cute. But the pockets do not allow you to do some little be a little creative. And so this is one of those, I'm sure you all have seen some of those TikTok or Instagram videos where people take the little bracelets and they put them, underneath or either on top and use the rubber band or hair tie to kind of create a little bit of like shape. And I did that with this version that I did. And I decided not to put the pockets on because I was like, oh, I love the options that you have. You can put it in the back. You can put 2. I was just playing all around with it. And I just loved all the different options that it gave. So I decided to not do the pockets on this version or on the one that we're going to do tonight. The other difference is that I did make this a 3/4 length sleeve. Oh, I still have to cut this piece. And the one I'm doing tonight, I'm doing actually a longer sleeve. So I added about 2 inches onto the sleeve to make it a little bit more just like slouchy towards the bottom part of it. So this one I did a 3/4, and the sleeve that we're doing tonight, I did a much longer sleeve. So we'll see how it's different. And then this neckline is the neckline for view A. So it's the smaller neckline. The one thing I would say about this neckline is that, as you can see, and it might just be the fabric, this is a sweater knit that I'm using. It's, you know, it's pretty loose and it doesn't look bad at all, but the picture makes it look much tighter than, or at least on this model, it looks much tighter than what it fits. Again, it doesn't look bad at all on, but it's a much looser, it's not like a snug to the neck. It's more looser. You know, it doesn't slouch like this, but it's definitely not as tight. Like, you're not gonna have any problem getting it over your head or even widening it if you have like a hairstyle that you want to preserve. You're not gonna have any problems with it. What else did I want to say? But we're doing the slouch neck on the one that we're doing today. But I was just making this one to give me an idea of, one, how easy it was to do on the serger. The other thing that we're going to do different that's not in this one is I will be doing pockets. So although we're not doing the, you know, front pockets, we will be doing side pockets. So we are going to do that. And that this one does not have the side pockets because, again, my intent was to do the front pockets before I decided, no, that's not the direction that I want to go in. So this is definitely a very easy pattern. I did me. So you all who have been on here, you know how I'm not like the fastest sewer in the world. And after I cut it out, it took me about 45 minutes to sew the entire thing. So on the serger, it is pretty fast, but keep in mind, I did not do the pockets. So that'll take a little bit more time. And I also did not hem it yet. So you can't really see it, but it's not hemmed at the bottom. Now, I will be hemming this, but as you all know, it's knit, so you don't necessarily have to hem it if you like the way the fabric is on the bottom. I do plan to hem this. Again, this is a sweater knit. It's not the thickest sweater knit, but it's a reasonable amount of thickness. This is probably one that I might have maybe not lined it, but did like a double, you know, cut it out, sew it together, and then treat it as one because it is pretty thin, but it looks good on. I did take some pictures and I'll be posting them with this version on later so that you can see it. But we're going to dive right in. Yeah, Lisa, it took 45 minutes. It was really quick. I did it all on the serger. I did not use my sewing machine at all on this version. So really, really quick. The main things, the other thing I want to say is that, you know, I mentioned earlier that it does have a loose fit. I cut a size 14 here, and I cut a size 14 in the one that we're getting ready to do tonight. If you want a tighter fit, you definitely want to downsize. There is a lot of ease built into this. And if I remember correctly, I think it was 5 inches. Don't quote me on that. It's on the pattern, I believe. That's how I was able to figure it out. But it's got quite a bit of ease in it. So that's one of the reasons why it has, again, a looser fit. And if you look at the model, you can see it's not giving like a curve. It's not fitting her, you know, curving wise. So if I wanted a real slim look, I would probably do a 10. Again, I cut a 14, but a 10 could easily, now it probably wouldn't be work appropriate, but it would definitely be something that I might wear date night, brunch with the girls on Sunday, you know, something like that. Or even do more casual, you know, again, throwing some rider boots, and you might be able to do something like bowling or something like that. And the other thing is that I did not do any adjustments to the length on this version. And it does come down to right a little bit more, but maybe like an inch below my knee. The dress that we're about to do today, I added like 3 inches. So it's going to come pretty long, and I might end up adjusting that depending on where it hits on me. So anyway, we're going to get started, and I'm excited. If you are sewing along, please let me know, drop something in the chat. Let me know that you're sewing along with me. Otherwise, I encourage you to sew it. I think it's a cute dress. It's a fun sew, and I think you would be able to have a lot of options with this dress. So with that said, we're going to dive right into view B. And the first step, well, I am using another sweater knit. I'm using this navy blue. So this is the same, these are the same materials, just one's in navy blue, one is in gray. Hi, Adrian. I'm so glad that you are joining along. Let me know if you run into anything and where you are along with your sewing, and we will make sure that you get caught up. So view B, we're doing right sides together. So there is one pattern piece for the front and one for the back. And so those are pattern pieces 5 and 7. And we are going to line those. Oh, these are mine. Thought this was the other front piece. Those are my arms. So we're going to line those up, and we are going to stitch at the shoulder seams. And again, I'm using my serger for this, but you can definitely use your sewing machine. It's not going to hurt one single bit if you use your sewing machine on this. It's just, as you know, for those that use a serger, it is, you know, it's a quicker process. So Lisa said, I'm not sewing along, but I'm cutting the pattern out to sew it this weekend. Oh, okay, great. Look, I'm excited that you're sewing it this weekend. Anybody who does sew along, please tag me. I love to repost. If you feel comfortable with that, let me know that too. If you tag me, if not, I'll usually reach out and say, hey, do you mind if I repost this? And I'll either share if you tag me, or do a screenshot and share. I'm always so excited when people sew along, with me and share their experiences with sewing. And then, of course, as you're sewing along, if you have any questions, definitely put something in, send me a message in my DMs on, even on Instagram. Even though I'm not live on Instagram, a lot of people hop onto these other platforms or watch on YouTube. So you can leave me pretty much a message on any of the platforms that I'm on, and I will respond if you run into anything, particularly because I am using a serger, and I know a lot of people don't have sergers or aren't using sergers. And so if you run into anything, if you're using the sewing machine, don't hesitate to reach out. Because if I don't have the answer, guess what? We can reach out to our Black Sewing Network family and we can get the answer. So unlike Sway, we do have the answers. Okay, let's see. Adrian said, what settings are you using for your knit on my serger? So I'm actually using the Bernina 860 for my serger machine. And to be honest with you, I pretty much keep it set on the same setting, which is a 4-thread overlock with what they call like a safety seam. So it's pretty much like two straight rows and then a loop that goes over, 2 loops that kind of go over the edge of it. And I use that literally, whether I'm using a knit or a woven, I use that stitch. Now, what I will say is it's not a flat stitch. So if you, I'm always mindful that if I'm going to be doing something where I'm concerned that if I serge it, it's going to you're going to be able to see through when I'm ironing, or something like a pocket or something. I don't change these settings because it's set and I'm leaving it on this. But I'm mindful of and I could definitely change the settings. I just have not explored that. So that's a long way of Adrian of saying I do not adjust for the fabric type. But if you let me know if you have any questions about, how you should set your serger. Just let me, if you send me a message or you even post it here, what kind of serger you have. And I can reach out again to our sewing network, our Black Sewing Network family, and say, hey, I got a question about a serger, what settings to use for the knit on this kind of serger. And guess what? By the time are you sewing now or are you sewing this weekend? We can get you an answer. And we might even be able to get your answer now. So, because we can I'm on. So for those that are just joining me for the first time, I am streaming live on multiple platforms. So I am doing not only YouTube and Facebook, I'm also streaming on TikTok. And so if you see me looking in 2 different directions, it's because I have 2 cameras, and I am, let me just adjust this a little bit so you can see. And I am talking to two different audiences. So Adrian, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to do a little bit of research on what your settings should be for your type of serger. Thank you so much, Belinda. I appreciate all your likes. You lighting me up on TikTok, and I'm here for it. Thank you. So right now I'm just clipping. And because, you know, one of the things I'm mindful of when I am serging, so when you stitch it, you're able to kind of account for your seam allowance. And so when you are serging, you need to account for your seam allowance as well. So I will be making sure that I am kind of cutting off my seam allowance as I'm serging so that I don't end up with this dress any bigger than it has to be. So the seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch. Okay, you have a 1634. All right, I'm going to put a question in. And I actually, before I got the serger that I have now, I had a brother 1634. And it was my favorite. I loved it. I ended up giving it to my daughter, although I could have kept it because I liked it that much. So we're gonna get you an answer. And I'm trying to think, I feel like, I mean, it's been a minute, so I don't want to start even trying to guess what I did, but I don't feel like I changed my settings too much on my brother's serger. I feel like what I had is what I work with, and I pretty much serged everything, but that's my poor memory telling me that's what I did. But we are going to get you an answer. I'm about to pop in a question. Let me see. Oh, shucks. Hey, Julian. Julian is getting a sewing tattoo. I can't wait to see that. Please let us see it. I got one tattoo. I cried like a baby. I think I'm getting another one, but we'll see. We will see. So for any of my TikTok family, and I know Julian, you're like, you probably have all the answers, but you're getting a tattoo right now. Adrian, who is on from our Facebook family, she has a brother 1634. You know, that's the official. So Adrian, if you don't know, the brother 1634 is the official Black Sewing Network serger. Like everybody has that. So for anybody that's on, if you know, like if you have any or use any special settings for your sweater knits on your brother machine, if you could drop them in the chat so we can let Adrian know, that would be so awesome. All right, so I've clipped both sides, although I don't know why I clipped both sides, because guess what? We're only stitching the shoulders because we are putting pockets in this. So that's what happens when you talk. So we're only doing the shoulders. We are going to, because I'm serging, I am going to make sure that I'm going to stitch at a 5/8 of an inch or serge so that my seam allowance is serged off, accounting for 5/8 of an inch. I'm also, because I'm serging, so I'm sewing or serging standing up, and I don't have, so normally sometimes I will have my little extension table on so I can lay my fabric on. Because this fabric is really stretchy, I want to make sure that I don't put it in a position where it's stretching. Hey, Aisha. Oh, Angela, you said you got the 1034. And I feel like the 1034 and the 1634 work the same. So let me just add. So Belinda, do you have specific settings that you use? And Aisha, do you have the brother serger? If you do, what settings are you using for your serger? Yeah, they are. I thought they are the same. Okay, you said the last knit that you sewed, you used 5, 5, 5, 6, and 5.5. Oh, you have a Viking. Okay, and you said I'm still learning it. Okay. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if we get some answers for you. And the only other thing I would say, Adrian, is that you can always do a test and see how it, how it rolls. All right, so I'm about to serge these shoulders. And again, if you are serging, you want to make sure that you account for your seam allowance, because if you don't, you're going to end up with, a bigger garment than what you anticipated. So right sides together, we are sewing or serging our shoulder seams. All right, one shoulder down, one to go. Yeah, I tried this one on. I can't wait to show you the pictures. It really looks so cute. And I will probably make this dress again, a tighter version. I was on Pinterest today looking at all kinds of sweater dresses, and they are just so cute. There's so many options. All right. And just like that, both of my shoulder seams are done. Okay, so after we do the shoulder seams, it is telling us that we are going to do the neckband. So you're going to get out piece number 9. And so the neckband, remember I mentioned that this neckband it's a slouch neckband. So you had to cut one piece of this big, I don't know if you can see it, but and here's my piece, and I actually cut 2 pieces. And I really only needed 1, so I'm going to put that to the side. And you are going to stitch the back center seam, and then you're going to fold the band in half along the fold line. And so if you see this pattern piece, if you can see it in the middle, there is a line. So after we put right sides together, stitch down this seam, or in our case, serge, we're going to basically fold it in half. So we're going to do that now. I'm about to put right sides together. And you have notches that you have cut out, so you can line your notches up. And again, the main thing that I'm just trying to be careful of is that, hi, Miss Alethea. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. It's just making sure that you don't stretch it, because, again, depending on the fabric, it's just as thin as this is, it has a little weight to it, so it'll stretch really easily. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't stretch it, so that everything lines up as I'm attaching the different pieces. Miss Alethea, quick question. You may be able to help Adrian. She is sewing, we're using the serger, so we're going a little bit off script, but not really, because the pattern does say that this is serger appropriate. And she's using the Brother 1634 and was asking a question about what settings to use. Do you have any thoughts? And she had put in, I don't know if you can see what she had put in before. I'm not sure if you could see the chat before you join, but she had put her settings in. All right, so I'm stitching my neck, which is neckband, which is pattern piece 9. Again, I'm making sure that I account for my seam allowance. So when I'm serging it, I'm kind of serging that off. You don't know anything about the Brother. Okay. You said yours to all fours. Okay. Yeah, that's what mine is on too. It's on all fours. And I wish I could remember, because I did have the 1634, but I just don't remember. Don't worry, Adrian, somebody's going to hop on that has it, and they're going to be able to help us. Okay, so I have serged my neckband, and as I mentioned earlier, we're going to fold it in half. So right sides out, we are folding it in half, and it helps to, you have little notches that you would have cut in there, so you can line those up. That'll help you. And I will tell you, just to give you gauge something a little bit, this is significantly bigger than this neck. I mean, if you want to see, just for comparison purposes. So again, this dress form doesn't give you any kind of realistic understanding. This neckline, while it's loose, it's not this loose on you. But just if you want to see a little bit of a comparison of how much bigger this neck band is than the one for view A, it is significantly bigger. Okay, so line up your notches so your neckband doesn't go on crooked. If you were doing this on a sewing machine, the other thing you could do is put in a basting stitch, and that'll help it stay lined up. I also, because this is a sweater knit and the chalk doesn't stay on it well, I cut little notches in, like where the center, the shoulder seams are, but there are little dots that help you identify that. And if you have the right kind of fabric markers, you might be able to easily put those dots in, but I just put little clips in to help me identify where those locations are. So now that I have it kind of clipped, it's right side out, I am going to connect it to my neck. And so you're going to keep your dress that you put together at the shoulder seams. The easiest way to do it is you are going to, actually, you're going to turn it right side out first. And I'm actually going to clip this, but I'm going to unclip it because we got to put our pockets in. So I was mentioning earlier, hi, Anna, welcome. How are you? Okay, so you're going to turn your dress right side out. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you could see, but I have little notches that I cut in there so I know where's the back, where's the middle, and then of course the shoulder seams are easy to identify. And then you can line it up with your neckband. So I have my dress laying, I turned it right side out, and I have it laying flat in front of me. And then I have my neckband. And you are going to put your neckband on so that the raw edges are lined up. So the bottom part of your neckband, or the what will officially be the top when you hold it up, it's going to be down here. And then the raw edge is going to be lined up with the raw edge of your dress neck. And so now I'm just looking for my little notches that I cut in so I can know what's my front. Okay, here we go. And here is my back. So I have two little notches that I cut in the back, and I'm lining them up with the two little notches on the back of my dress. Again, if you are worried about, your all those pieces staying lined up, it could be helpful to do a basting stitch around your neckband, that raw edge, just so you know it stays lined up. And you do have to kind of stretch it a little bit to make sure it all lines up. So I'm just looking for my side little cut that I put in there. And then I'm going to ease it in everything from there. Hey, Anthony. Okay, here's my front. Sometimes it can be really hard to see. Let me just, when the fabrics are all the same. I just got to make some of these little cuts a little bit bigger, just so I can really see it. I have monovision, so I got one near eye and one far eye. Okay, let's see. I got to get me some better marking utensils, because on some of the fabrics, my utensils just don't work well. So I resort to doing these little teeny clips, but then, okay, there it is. But it's like, once I have it lined up to the fabric, I can't even see it. And I don't want to make it too much, because all right, there we go. So that's that. That's that one. All right, let's try this again. So again, raw edges up, line with the raw edge of your dress, and then you're going to take your dots or notches, whichever one you are working with, and you're going to line them up. And then you might have to use some easing to kind of ease them in. Hi, Tydree. Welcome. I'm so happy to see you. All right. See, this is what I mean. Where is my side? here we go. I'm telling you, it's like these little teeny cuts, they just blend into the fabric. I'm like, where is it? Okay, that's fine. Here's the one on this side. Let me find my other shoulder seam. All right, one more in the front. Okay, there we go. And that's the front. All right, I got all my notches lined up. Now I'm just going to ease in the rest of this because I know I got it lined up. And that's a little bit of the easier part. All right, there we go. That's that. There we go. There we go. I don't know about where y'all live at, but over here on the East Coast, it went from 82 degrees last weekend to 40 something degrees. So this sweater dress is going to definitely come in handy. I done pulled my boots out. I done pulled my scarves out. I'm ready. It just skipped right over, what is it, Indian winter, the little fake summer. It skipped right over it. It said, you going to get this work? And I said, well, okay. Let me pull out my full-blown winter clothes because there's no room for anything different. Okay, so I've gotten it all pinned. Again, all my raw edges are lined up, and I'm going to my serger. But you can definitely, again, you can use your sewing machine. If you use your sewing machine, you're going to do 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right. And if you're using your serger, you want to make sure that you cut off that extra seam allowance. Otherwise, you won't end up with a bigger neck than what you anticipate. Yeah, Miss Alethea, I was not ready. It felt even colder just because it was so hot on Sunday. It was cold. I was like, oh my. I was like, let me get myself together. So this is definitely something I plan on wearing next week. A nice little sweater, a nice little scarf, one of those infinity scarves. And I think Terrence has some infinity scarves on his website. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that and see if I can add anything to my collection. But that's gonna make this so cute. Some nice little knee boots, infinity scarf. I'll be set. I'll be warm and comfortable. And you just want to make sure that you're getting all your layers so that you don't end up missing any layers as you're either sewing and or serging this in place. All right, here we go. Hi, Veronica. Let me make sure. Sometimes it's hard to see. Let me see. Yes. Welcome. I'm so glad to see you. Yes, DC Fractales. So I've been waiting for that. I am going to DC Fractales. I'm excited about it. Like, I'm not gonna wait till the last minute. I'm getting ready. So, did they put the theme out yet? Because I actually didn't see the post about DC Fractales myself. Someone told me about it. So if once I know the theme, I'm gonna start planning because I'm not waiting to the last minute. I'm pulling all stops. It's in my backyard, so I gotta show up and show out, glow up and show up. So that is what I'll be doing. You said they didn't put the theme out yet. Okay. Yes, Fractales. So you said, what is a fractale? Okay. It is like a party for sewists, and where everyone comes and they sew their own garments, and usually there's a theme. So like we just came from the New York one, and it was Studio 54 theme, and then Atlanta just had one. And what was the theme in Atlanta? I don't remember what, because I didn't go to that one. I don't remember what the theme in Atlanta was. And then I don't remember what I went to the Miami one, which was my first one, and I don't remember what the theme for that one was either. Oh, I think it was Met Gala. Oh yes, Miss Alethea said Met Gala was the theme, which I would have loved that to do that. So I'm sad I missed that one. But Adrian, it is a good time. Yes, Angela, it's Met Gala. Yep, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it was. So I will be going to DC Fractales. If you live in the DMV or within driving distance or our plane right away, you should be there. I've never been, so I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just speaking from, it's going to be fun. I plan on bringing the fun. So I'm looking forward to it. So it's in January. Oh, Miss Alethea, did you miss the Atlanta one? The Atlanta Fractales? Or you saying you missed the New York one? Adrian, you know what? It has been around. So I'm a fairly new sewist. I've been sewing for a little over a year, but the other sewists that I talk to in our sewing community, they are saying that, hey, this Fractales is a thing and it's been around forever. Now, Miss Alethea, you might have more history on Fractales and how long it's been around. Anybody know the history, like how long sewists been engaging in Fractales? It's just a fun time. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, now you got to make it up. You got to come to DC Fractales. And have a good time over here with us. All right, it looks like we have, let's just check, make sure we didn't miss anything. Make sure we have a nice clean serge with no gaps. Okay, it's looking really good from the inside. And it is looking really good from the outside. So you can see how much bigger this neckline, I mean, you probably can't see it because it's so dark, but just to give you an idea, this is the neckline is right here. So you can see how much bigger it is than this neckline, which is very short. But it's made to be that way. It's going to give you a little cow neck. Okay, Adrian, see you when you get back. Feel free to come and go as you please. I'm happy that you are here, and I look forward to you returning. Oh, Angela says there's international Fractales. Look, don't make me spend any more money, Angela. I don't need to know about no international Fractales. So I could be going to Paris or something. Don't give me a reason to travel. I love to travel. I still have all that fabric. I need to do live to go show y'all all this fabric that I bought back from when I went to Southeast. I mean, I guess it's Southeast side of the world. I went to Bali and Singapore and Malaysia, and it was beautiful. And I brought back fabric from every single place that I went. Okay, so look, we are moving right through this. You say you think it started overseas, mainly Great Britain. Not sure how long it's been in the States, but not as long. Yeah, that. Thank you for that. Thank you, Lisa. I'm just glad they brought it over here because it's something for us. Like what I love is that you can show up your best self. Everybody looks so different, and it's all embraced. And I just enjoy just seeing how every look. It inspires me to say, "Oh, dang, I showed up." I just feel like I'm gonna do like each one I go to. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna do bigger, better. And again, you don't have to be overly dramatic because you could be a simple, you could do you, however that is, and you will feel just as comfortable, safe. You will feel a sense of belonging no matter how you decide to show up. And that's what I love about it. And so I'm looking forward to being able to do me again at this next Frock Tales. Okay, we are moving on to the arms. And you see, we kind of just moving through the motions. So we are, here's our arms. And so as I had mentioned earlier, you have two arm pieces. This is piece number 4. I did a couple of things to it. One, as I added about 3 inches to the length of it because I just wanted a little bit more, don't worry about my ashy elbows, a little bit more, gathering at the bottom of the sleeve. You do have a sleeve band, which we'll be putting on as well. So if you are using your sewing machine, you will be putting in some gathering at the top of your sleeves. You have some dots that you would have transferred or markings that you would have transferred over. And so in between the in between the last, is it the last? The small dots, you are going to do 2 gathering stitches is what you're going to do at the top of that. But I'm not doing those because I am serging, and it worked well because again, the fabric is stretchy, the armholes are stretchy. And so I was able to I did a little bit of like gathering by overlapping. So I just did like a little overlap in a couple of places and it worked out perfectly when I did it on these arm sleeves. You can't really tell because again, the fabric is so stretchy. And I did the same thing when I did the bands. Now you can see a little bit where I did it right here, but it doesn't look like anything is bad about it. It just looks like there's a little pleat, one right there, one right there. It doesn't look bad at all. So I plan on doing the same thing to kind of get it in there. So once you put again, if you're stitching on a sewing machine, you can put those 2 gathering stitches in there. And then you are going to what's this, piece number 5, number 6. Oh, so we're not putting them in yet. We are just doing the gathering stitches. Are we putting it in? Let me see. Right sides together, pin the sleeve to the armhole edge. Oh, okay. So they're putting this arm in a little differently than I put my arms in. They are doing what I call the open arm method. So the open arm method is basically you are pinning your sleeve, which this is a pretty fast way. I've never done this way on a serger, but I'm not envisioning it's going to be an issue. So you're going to turn your garment wrong side out, and you are lining up your center of the shoulder. So, and again, remember for mine, I put little notches in because I knew my markers wouldn't stay on here. So I'm taking this and I'm lining it up with the center of my shoulder seam. And you're going to pin or clip it there. Again, if you are not serging, you will want to serge that first. And then you're going to basically clip this whole shoulder part to the edge. And you'll see where it lines up perfectly to the edge of where your dress the end of where that shoulder part is. You're going to line that up perfectly there. So you're just doing around the shoulder. You're going to stitch or sew those pieces together. Stitch or serge, sorry, not sew. And I'll show you once I finish. Oh, this is the wrong one. You also want to make sure that you use the right sleeve. So you will have 2 notches cut that will let you know that's the back of the sleeve, and you will have 1 notch to go to the front. So this is the back. If you could see this, this is the back, and this is the front where I have 1. I don't know if you can see that, 1 little notch. So I had clipped the wrong one in. And so I realized like, oh, so I am now clipping the right one in. And you can line those notches up. And what this does is it basically allows you to just stitch your arm in. Now I did this arm a little bit the traditional way in that I stitched the side seams up and then I put the sleeves in. But this has you doing it what I call the open arm method. So Angela, are you going to the DC Frocktails? You say you planning on it. Yep. Okay. Well, I'm planning on going too. So I will see you there. We're going to have a good time. I need to go find the post so I can know like who's organizing it and get as much details as I can. I want to know everything I can know. Okay. So I clipped the one side. I'm going to put my other side on. And then I'm going to serge them both. Again, this is what we call the open arm method. So you're going to line up the center. And you should have either a dot or in my case, I cut a notch in. And you're doing this after you put your gathering stitches in if you're using a sewing machine. Yeah, that's another one of my favorite things is that you get to meet, the people that you are talking to on social media for months and months and months. And in this one time a year, you get to come together and meet people in person, which is so awesome. It's been everybody that I've met, it's just been great. It's like you feel like you've known the person forever. So I'm just definitely looking forward to it. I looked at the date and I'm in town and I'm just like, nothing is going to happen on that day that's going to keep me from going. Okay, I've lined my notches and my dots. And now I'm going to the serger. Again, you still have to remember that when you are using the serger, you need to cut off that seam allowance or else you're going to have, a bigger, puffier shoulder than what you might want if you have that extra fabric just kind of in there. 5/8 of an inch doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it adds up. All right, here we go. We're putting the arms, the top of the arm in. Sleeves in the arm. Here we go. one arm in, and now we're doing the other. All right, one down, one to go. You said it doesn't mention who was organizing. In the past, Three Little Birds did DMV Fractals, so not sure if it's the same people. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Are you going to the DC Fractals? Thank you for that information. So I'm not familiar with the Three Little Birds, but I got to get to know who they are. If they are people who have organized in the past, it seems like the feeling that I get, at least again, I'm new at the whole Fractals thing, but it seems like once somebody starts it, they seem to be the same people that tend to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again based on you saying that they've done it in the past. Hi, Deja. Welcome. I love that bag that you made your mom. Or it's Deja. Deja, that's right. Sorry. I love that. And I love that she was so happy with it. That was the cutest little video. Now this is going to be kind of interesting. Hold on, let me search this so we can have a conversation. So they have us doing this open arm method. It's going to be interesting to see how that works with the pockets, which is what we're doing next, the pockets. So in the past, when I've done the open arm method to put sleeves in, it has been because I haven't done it with pockets. So you basically, you put the top of the sleeve in, and then you basically stitch the bottom all one continuous stitch down. So I've done that with shirts where there's no pockets, but we're putting pockets in this. So we go into the instructions, which we hope are gonna guide us. Just sent you the DC Fractals Instagram post. Thank you so much, Angela. Oh, and I should be unpaused on TikTok, and because my let me know if I'm still paused. My what do you call this thing? My iPad said you are about to die. So I just have to plug it in. Let me know. It should be okay. Is it okay now? Let me know, Angela, if it's better. Hopefully I'm unpaused now. Okay, so we're about to do the pockets. So we have the neck in, we have the top of the arms, and now we get ready to work on these pockets. Okay, so pockets are number 8. You should have 4 pocket pattern pieces. You are going to turn your garment right side out, lay it facing, front facing forward. And it says we are going to apply the pockets to the front and the back as follows. So you should have little notches in your pocket pieces too. You want to make sure that you are, let me move the arms out the way. So you're moving the arms out the way. Which I wonder why they didn't have us stitch up those arms. Oh, it looks like we're going to do it a little bit different. I see what they're doing. Okay, so you are having your dress right side out, your front facing, and then you're going to take your pockets. You're going to lay one pocket on each side, lining up the notches, and it should be right sides together. So this is the right side of my fabric. This is going to be laying against the right side of my dress. So you're going to line up those straight edges with this curved part down. So you want to make sure that you have it all on each one on the right side, so you can get that same, again, right sides together with the curved part facing down and the flat edge part lined up with the flat edge of your dress. And again, your dress should be right side facing out. And let me just see, I might have to, let me line this up because I have so many notches in here. I want to make sure I got the right ones for my pocket. Okay, here we go. So this is the front. And here is, so it's this one. Where's my little? So you have little dots, or in my case, I'm cutting little notches into my fabric. And that's what you want to line up to the notches that you have in your pockets. And I'm just making sure that mine is lined up. All right, there we go. And making sure that these are lined up. Oh, I got them already cut in there. Okay. Okay, I don't have this one. Oh, it does work. Okay. So I'm just pinning. And you're going to do one pocket on the front, each side of the right and left side of the front. And you're going to do one pocket on the right and left side of the back. here we go. Okay. That goes on that side. And this one goes on this side. And I'm just lining up all 4 of my pockets because I'm going to serge them all at one time. I'm doing the same thing on the back, lining up my markings or notches, making sure the curved part is facing down, the raw edges are lined up, and right sides are facing each other. And if you get to this pockets and you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to reach out. And again, it's make sure your dress is on the right side facing out. Your pocket pieces are going to be, you're going to put one pocket piece on right and left side of the front, and you're going to put another pocket piece on the right and left side of the back, right sides together, lining the raw edges, and the curved part of the pocket should be facing down. The pointed part should be at the top. All right, so I have all of my pockets clipped, both to the right and left side. So right and left side, front and back. And now I'm going to serge, or you can stitch. If you stitch, you're going to do 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Nope, sorry, scratch that. It's 3/8 of an inch. So if you are stitching, you're doing 3/8 of an inch. And then if you're serging, you should serge off that equivalent amount. One pocket in, 3 to go. Oh, how did I like Trisha's fitting class? I actually liked it a lot. So I signed up for the Pattern Making Academy back in September, and I hadn't really started it. I looked at like the first lesson, but I didn't even finish it. I was like, I got to do it when I could really focus and have some dedicated time to kind of work through some of it. And I will tell you that the fitting class is different from the pattern making class. The fitting class focuses on just that. It focuses on fitting and adjustments that you have to make. So it is all about making sure that the commercial patterns, or even if you use indie patterns, that they fit your unique body. So for me, I'm short. I always have, and my hip and waist ratio are not like what I would call the standard, ratios in terms of the difference between my hip and my waist. So I always have to make some adjustment either to the height or the hip and the waist. And so that class really focuses on helping you make slopers and helping you understand how to do those adjustments. And it teaches you it in a way that you can take those lessons and kind of apply it to other things. So I thought it was really good. The other thing is that I'm super, super busy. My work is very busy. My personal life is really busy. And the way that she taught the class, it was like in these really small kind of bite-sized um, chunks. So you can really, you could process it in a meaningful way. So if somebody like me who's super busy can work through it and feel like I had learned something, I feel like most people can probably work through it. And she incorporates some things to keep you engaged throughout, like little games, and you can win things. If that's a motivator for you, then it will work really well. But I thought overall, I thought it was really good. And what it did do is it made me say, okay, I gotta get back on my grind. So I did just start this week. I re-engaged the Pattern Making Academy, which Trisha's a teacher on there as well. So that I can start to, I'm paying for that every month, and I haven't, a whole month went by, almost 2 months now at this point, and I haven't done any of the stuff. So I'm starting to work my way through, those classes. And then she does have a course, and I didn't sign up for it this time, but after I finish the Pattern Making Academy, I may end up doing it as well. Because like I said, it is different from the Pattern Making Academy, and that it strictly focuses on fitting. So I would say if you are somebody who has to make a lot of adjustments, it would be a great class for you. If you're somebody who sews for other people, it would be a great class for sure. Like this, or if you just want to be more efficient at what you do, it's a great class. If she ever does it again, I definitely would encourage people to take it. Hey, Miss Tata, welcome. I'm happy that you are here. Thank you for joining. All right, so I got 2 pockets done. I'm on the other side now and putting the 3rd pocket in. All right, 3 in, 1 to go. There's my last one. Here is my last pocket. We are moving through this. So Lisa, you said you joined PMA when it first opened during the pandemic. I haven't finished the first class, but motivated to get back to it. Yes, so it is. So I'm about to do my slow course. And what I'm going to do is, I think to help hold myself accountable, I'm going to start sharing some of the stuff that I'm doing, So my goal is before the weekend is out to at least have half of my slopers done. That's I have to set goals. This is how my brain operates. So that's what I'm going to be doing to kind of, but it also helps me because like I said, I have to pretty much do adjustments for whether it's adjustments that I have to do because I want the fit to be right, or I want to do because I have a preference about how I want something to look on me. I am making adjustments pretty much to most of the patterns. I rarely am sewing a pattern as is and like, oh, this is working for me. It's rare. It happens, but it's rare. So if I don't like the way something fits and I'm spending twice as much time going back and making an adjustment, and I don't want to make something that I don't like, so because it doesn't fit me the way I like. So the fit thing is really worth it. The pattern making class is worth it for me because eventually I want to make some patterns, not just one. And I have been collecting inspiration post on Pinterest. So I already know like what my first couple of pieces are going to be. You said you just printed your slopers for your half scale mani. Yeah. So I'm not, you know what? So Miss Alethea, I have been on the fence about doing the half scale, even though that's what we did. So for those that were not in the class, in Trisha's class, we did everything on half scale slopers. And then for the pattern making, I think she says, if I remember in the first lesson, you can do half, but I'm going to do full scale sloper. And so what I'm actually doing, you said I don't want to end the courses because I'm too invested. Yeah, right. I get it. And I see the stuff that you sew. So how long have you been taking the courses, Miss Alethea? And you sew for other people, right? I know you sew for your family, but do you sew like paid? Like, are you paid to make things for other people? What was I going to say? I don't remember. But anyway, my goal is to get those slopers done. I was saying about pattern making class. My initial goal was to have a pattern out by the beginning of the year, but obviously I'm way behind that part. So, but my 2024, I will have a pattern out. What am I making? So I am making New Look 6683. We are making this dress. I have a version of this dress right here. It's a little bit different. We're going to have a different neckline. We're going to have these sleeves are 3/4 inch sleeves. We're going to do full length sleeves. And also this dress, it hits me probably right at the top part of my calf, and I added about 3 inches to it, so it's going to fall a little bit longer than that. So a little bit of a different look than this one. This has no pockets. We're doing pockets, side pockets. It does come with the option to do front pockets, but because I like to play around with this little, whatever you want to call it, I decided to forego the pockets so I could have some flexibility. And then for those that didn't hear me mention it, the dress is like a loose fit. So definitely appropriate for work, appropriate for church. It's not, doesn't fit, hug your body. But if you like more of a hugging look, then again, you could take this. This is why I put this in, because once I put this in, it kind of gathers it. It gives you cinches that waist. It pulls it up on one leg a little bit. So it just gives you that, a little bit of a look. And you're going to see it because I'm going to do it on this dress as well. So you'll be able to see the difference. But I could do that if I want to use it for date nights, brunch with the girls, hanging out on a weekend. Or if I want to wear it to church or to work, I could take this out and just have a much more looser fitting, straight up and down. Still, nice little scarf. So you could, make it a little edgy, but not have that more fitted look if that's what you need. So you said you start at the beginning, but you're just getting started. Okay. I sew as a business. I specialize in wedding gowns and formal gowns. Oh, so that is right up your alley. Oh, you definitely need the class. If you're making wedding gowns, as you know, you got to get it perfect. There's no room for error. So I'm sure it's probably gonna, help you a lot, especially if you are making them from beginning to end. Like that's work. That is work. Okay, so we have sewn our pockets in, and the next step is to sew our side seams, which will include our arms, and it will also include around the edges of our pockets. So we are going to turn this wrong side out. So the right side will be on the inside. And we're going to clip, and I'm just going to show you on my own body or even on this, what we're going to do. So basically this is our dress. Imagine if it wasn't sewed. We are now going to put clips. We're going to clip, 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 clip. And then your pockets are right here. You're going to clip around your pockets, and then you're going to come down to the other end of your dress and you're going to clip down to the end. So we are literally going to clip and stitch all the way around our pocket and then down the bottom to the end of the dress. And we're going to do that on both sides. So that's what we're getting ready to do right now. And the last step is that we just put our bands on our sleeves, and believe it or not, we are done. So again, for the record, you want to make sure that your dress is wrong side is facing out. You're going to lay it flat with either the wrong side or the right side of the garment, front or the back of the garment, facing up, it doesn't matter. And then you are going to start clipping as I had just demonstrated. And just make sure that you line up your notches, both on your sleeve as well as on your pockets. Be careful not to stretch anything unless you need to stretch it to make it fit, but you don't want to have something. If your notches don't line up, you probably have a piece of the garment overly stretched. You said the most enjoyable part is finishing the garment. I could not agree with you more. No, the most enjoyable part is wearing it, right? Well, finishing it, then wearing it. Yeah, I would agree with that. But we are moving through this really quick. I was shocked myself because y'all know I am not the fastest sewist in the world. I'm always so appreciative when y'all hang in there to the end. But we are moving. What time is it? Oh, it's 8:24. So Miss Alethea, I don't know if you saw it, for December, I'm sewing a lot of dresses that could be worn for like New Year's Eve dresses. So I don't know what I'm doing for New Year's Eve, but I'm definitely want to be dressed up. And so I want to have options. And I picked some what I would consider to be easier dresses to put together. So it's really going to be all about the fabric options that I'm choosing. That's going to give them the kind of glam and glitz that I would like to wear. So you can, like the dresses that I picked, you could dress them up or dress them down. But I plan on using some real flashy fabric, just so I could show off in every way. So that's my December lineup, is all these dresses. So I will have options for New Year's. Hi, Katrina. Welcome. All right, so we have one side pinned. I'm gonna pin the other side, and then we're gonna just serge away. If you are doing this on the sewing machine, your seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch. If you are doing this on a serger, you just want to make sure that you cut off the equivalent amount of seam allowance as you serge this. We are making such great progress. It's going to be a little tricky to go around these curves on this serger, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. just lining up my arms. I'll get on the serger. All right, I've gotten everything clipped, and now it is time to serge. And this is one continuous serge on each side. Yes, you know, I'm gonna make it do what it do. I'm looking forward to it. Yes. I always appreciate you getting on. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Hi, sugar. Let me see. Who is that? I always have to hold this up so I can see all the comments. Hi, Katrina. If I didn't say hi to you already, I think I did. But if I didn't, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. All right, here we go. We are serging. Almost down to the moment of truth, which is trying it on. All right, we to the first pocket. We've done one arm, and now we are to the pocket. Pocket is a little tricky. It's working. All right, one pocket is done. And just gonna finish up. One side is done. There we go. So this is what the pocket looks like. If you can see that. And here is what I'm going to probably do this little piece so you can see. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm probably going to serge that little piece again because where I clipped my notch. I guess enough didn't come off. I didn't make the, what do you call it? I didn't cut off enough of the seam allowance. So must have been a really deep. But here's the sleeve. Sleeve is done. Same side. Pocket is done. Side is all stitched. So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, starting with the edge of the arm, the sleeve, and working our way all the way back up to the other end. So one down, one to go. Welcome, Tammy. I'm really excited to see how this, I added again some extra fabric on the arms. And I'm excited to see how it gives me the gather or slouch that I want. We're now to the second pocket. Okay, that looks pretty good. Second pocket is done. I'm down to this last little part. All right, so the dress is together, is pretty much like done, with the exception of the armbands, which we're about to put on right now. So we're going to turn the dress right side out. We'll push those sleeves in. And so I won't do it now, but what I will do at a later point is I will do an understitch. So I'll stitch that serger seam, that serge seam, that extra fabric. I will stitch it to the inside of the pocket to make it to the, to make it lay down. So it's similar to the way that you would do an understitch for your seam allowance on a pocket so that it stays turned inward. So, and it kind of stays inward anyway, but I'm going to do that. So this is where my pocket is right here, and it doesn't stick out, but we'll see what happens once I put it on, because like I said, this one I've tried on, it doesn't have pockets. So It'll be interesting to see how everything falls, but they look pretty good. They are definitely set inside the garment. They're not sticking out in any way. So we will see what it looks like. So the last thing that we're going to do is put the armbands on. We have two, one for each arm. And we are going to, oh, do we have two or do we have one? We should have two. Let me make sure. Yes, maybe we only have one. Oh, it looks like we only have one. Oh no, you know what? We have two. Because guess what? I didn't cut it in the middle. So I'm about to cut it right now. I cut it on the fold and I never cut the middle piece. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this is our arm band, and we are going to right sides together. We're going to stitch down this side, and then we will be folding them in half. So it is, let me tell you what the seam allowance is. The seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to serge. And then we're going to turn it right side, or actually we're going to fold it down, and I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so right sides together, stitch down this end. Hi, Angela. Welcome. And then you're going to fold it down. So it would be, your right sides would be facing out. You can't really tell because I realize it's so dark, but if you could see that, you'll see my right side is facing out. So this is after I've folded it down. Hi, Divya, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Hi, Cynthia. Okay, so that's one. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Fold it in half, right sides together. And then we're going to stitch down that end, one end. The short end, I guess it would be. So you're going to create like a big circle. All right, got the second one done. And like I did on the first one, I'm going to fold it down, fold it in half. So that the right sides are on the outside. And if you have notches, which you should be able to line those up to make sure that there's no twisting. And like we did with the neckband, you have the option of doing a like a basting stitch to help kind of keep everything lined up. Or you could just pin it or clip it, which is what I'm doing. And I'm just sending a quick message. There we go. All right. And there we go. So once you have your little armband together, your two, one for each arm. Then again, you've turned your dress right side facing out. You're gonna make sure take your arms out so the entire dress is right side facing out. Then you are going to, so if you are doing this on your sewing machine, the instructions direct you that you would do a gathering stitch, similar to what you did around the neck, around the shoulders. They tell you, hey, you could do that around your arm seam as well. If you are using a serger and you want to do the whole thing with the serger, what I did with this one and what I'm going to do with this one is that you can either stretch it, because if your fabric is stretchy enough, well, your armband is stretchy enough because you'll be stretching it onto here. Or what I did was I just did a couple of little small overlaps, like 2 or 3, and it worked perfectly, and it doesn't look bad either. So you're going to, so once you do that, once you either decide, are you going to do gathers in the edge of this sleeve, or are you going to do a little bit of couple of like overlapping, then you're going to attach or you're going to overlap your armband. I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. Oh, don't worry, Divya, you came right on time, which is, it's almost time to try it on. So that's the great time to come. We are doing New Look 6683, and we are doing view B, which is the one with the kind of cow neck. And that's pretty much the biggest difference. Oh, and it doesn't have the pockets on the front. We did side pockets. So that is what we're working on. And we're down to the last step, which is to put our armbands on our sleeve. So you have your armband, and you're going to take your sleeve and you are going to pull it through the armband so that the raw edges are going to line up. And then you're going to basically clip them into each other. And if you have, like in my case, I'm lining up, there's like a seam, a serge edge. I'm lining that up with the serge edge of the sleeve, just so it can be one continuous seam. And I'm going to clip that, and then I'll go from there. Hi, Karen, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. And now I'm just clipping my my armband onto my sleeve. All right, one arm in, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other arm. Again, you're going to take the sleeve, and you're going to basically insert it on the inside so that your raw edges line up. So the raw edges of the armband and the raw edges of the sleeve line up. And the next thing I do is just line up the seam lines so that the seam line from the sleeve and the seam line from the armband line up. And then the next step is just, either doing use the fold over method to create some gathers so that your sleeve fits within the armband, or prior to attaching the armband, you can use your sewing machine to create some gathers in the sleeve, in the bottom part of the sleeve. It's blue. It is. So the color is a navy blue. Thank you. All right, so I got them both done. And now I am going to use my serger to serge this all in place. Again, just making sure that all of my layers of fabric get underneath the serger and there's like no folding or bunching underneath. All right, here we go. All right, let me just check it. Make sure I don't have anything that was left out, which it looks like it all went in even. There's no bunching or anything like that. And then I'm gonna look at it from this side and it looks really good. Again, no bunching or anything like that. So one sleeve down, one to go. Again, just making sure that I get the fabric under without any bunching or anything like that, so it'll all lay really flat. Two down, and we are officially done. Now I'm going to hem the bottom, but I will be doing that off camera. So what I am going to do is I'm going to try it on, and I'm also going to show you this little contraption, which gives you again some options. So I'll be right back. Give me like 2 minutes and I will be back. Okay, I'll be right back. dress is on. Let me just put on my boots so you can get a feel for how it might look with some boots. Here we go. I love it. It looks really good. Okay, so let me show you. So I don't know if you can really see, but this is kind of how it looks. So it has the pockets, and you see how it has a much looser fit. And it has the, let me show you the neck. So you can see the neck, how it kind of droops down. So the neck on this one, it does not droop this way. It's just because the mannequin, the dress form doesn't. But this neck does droop down. So this is how, but you can see how it's a much of a looser fit, but it's not bad. It's definitely, it's giving, I'm going to work, I'm going to church, for sure. But if you want to, again, add something a little bit different, I'm just going to take this off and show you how. And I just put these white boots on. I will probably wear some camel color boots. I have a blue and camel color scarf that I'll probably like, you know, wear with it. Or I have this like bow brooch kind of thing I would probably clip onto here. But you can, I'm not like an expert at this. So I'm gonna go off camera really quick so I can do it the only way I know how, which is, okay, so you put this, the little thing underneath, and I know you twist it. They have YouTube videos on how to do this. I'm not an expert at this. I was just playing around with it, but just to see how it can take something that is a little loose and make it bigger. But they kind of put it underneath, they twist it a little bit, and then they take the little rubber band and put it over top of it. This is not kind of the perfect right way, but you can't really see it. I wish you could see it for sure. But what it does, I'm just going to tell you what it does, and you'll see better when I take the pictures because the lighting will be better. But it just gives it a little asymmetrical, like one side is a little bit more raised than the other. It cinches in the sides. So I was watching some Instagram videos and I saw, you said put the bangle on the inside. Yeah, I put it right. It's on the inside, but I don't think I have it perfectly. I have to watch the little video and get used to it. But I've seen some where they put them on the outside, and then I've seen some where they put on the inside. I saw one video where they had one in the front and one in the back. I mean, they were just working those little bangles, and I was like, okay, I'm here for it. So I have a couple of different sizes. This is a big one. This is a little bit of a smaller one, and I'm going to try them a little bit different. But it definitely it definitely cinches it in. It definitely gives it like a little bit more like asymmetrical, I guess, depending on where you put it. But I like it. It definitely, I wish you could get the full look because I feel like you can't really see it because the lighting is not great. But, and then the sleeves also, so the sleeves are a little bit baggier. What I might do, so they are much more baggier than this one. But again, as I mentioned, I added some extra on it, as you can see, because I wanted to have a much more slouchier effect, which it does do when I pull them up. It gives me that slouch look that I really like. But I might just make them a little bit tighter at the bottom. The armband is perfect, but I want to make it just a little bit tighter just in case I want to wear them down. It doesn't look like, oh my goodness, it's oversized. You see what I mean? But when you have it slouched up, it looks perfect. Like, I like that look. So anyway, that is the full look. It is a fairly, like I said, it's a really quick dress. You can dress it up and dress it down. It does have a loose look. I cut a size 14. No, I did not do any adjustment to the neck. So there's two different necklines. There is like basically the cowl neck, and then they have basically the tighter neck. And unfortunately, this dress form doesn't really show the true neck because one, this fabric is a little bit stretchier, but it does fit like how it fits on the pattern. which let me show you the pattern. So you see how it is right here. It's not as tight, but it does fit that way. It doesn't hang down like this one does. So this is the neck that we did actually do, which is the B neck. Yes. So yeah, you said you could see wearing to work. Yeah, definitely you could wear it to work. It is definitely work. It is definitely church. It's definitely, you know, but I think like this version, which is, so this one I also, like I mentioned, I added like 3 inches to the leg, to the length of the dress. This one gives a much more, like when I put this in, it kind of pulls it up a little bit, it cinches it in. So if you don't make any adjustments to the length, then you might get something that you can not only wear to work, because again, with that looser fit, but if you use these bangles to kind of give you that little cinched look, it will definitely, you know, do that. I would just tell you that you definitely can't put the pockets on the front because you don't have enough real estate on the dress to be able to do this little conniption if you want to do that. So that is basically it. You said you wonder if you could add a hood. I think you definitely could add a hood. I would say that the pattern, I think you might have to make some adjustments to the back dress, but it depends on how, I'll have to look at it. I actually have a sweatshirt pattern that has a hood on it. I'm going to look at the neckline of the bodice part of that and just see how much different it is. But I think you could do it. I think it's probably if any modification at all, it's going to be very minor. But a hood would be really cute. You're right. It would be really cute. I mean, think about it. I mean, this doesn't have enough fabric for a hood, but I think you could. I think you could do it. I think you could definitely do it. I could definitely see a hood working. I could see it. Let me see. You said this is the quickest live I've ever been on. Me too, Teresa. Me too. This is the quickest live I've ever been on. I know. You know, we usually be here all night long. Like Lionel Richie. All night long we would be here. So, but we got in and we got out. We got in and out today. I'm proud of me. And I'm happy for you all that we got in and out, because guess what? You could still like go out tonight if you wanted, if that was your thing. Divya, you said you prefer the looser look. Yeah, you know what? Surprisingly, I do like a much more form-fitted look, but, and again, I feel like the picture it's not doing any justice. I actually do like the loose look. So I like them both, but I'm not opposed to the loose look. Let me just, for those that didn't get to see it before I put this little band thing in there. So I still have to, like I said, I have to still press it so that the pockets actually are really laying in there for the most part. I'm going to do an understitch for that serge seam allowance, but it definitely is, I like it. I do like it. And you don't have to necessarily wear boots. I'm a boots person because I'm really short. So I always wear boots. I have like almost every color boot that you could think of because I wear boots a lot because I like the height and they're, to me, much more comfortable than heels. So I wear boots a lot. So this would be something, both of these. So I did both of these. So I'm gonna post some pictures probably tomorrow when I have better light. I'm gonna go retake the ones I did in this dress. I took some, but the lighting isn't really great. So tomorrow when the lighting is good, I'm going to take some more pictures so that you're able to see the true dress, the options. And I'm going to take some with my little bangle thing once I figure that part out, and without the bangle thing. Okay, so where did I purchase the fabric? I really love that dark blue. Both are cute. Thank you. So Angela, I got this fabric actually from Joann's, but probably like a year and a half ago. It was like one of the first fabrics that I bought when I first started sewing, but I think they probably still have it. I mean, it is a sweater knit fabric, and they had it in a lot of different colors. I got the gray and the blue, but I think they also had like the burnt orange color, like similar to this. They had a yellow, they had a green. I think they had like a pale pink color and maybe a cream, I think is what I remember. So Joann's probably still has it, but that's where I got this fabric from. And I've had it, I bought like 5 yards and I never did anything with it until now. I did use that gray for another pair of pants that I had made in the top. And so this, I used that, what I had left. So I'm completely out of the gray. The gray is gone, but I still have probably like 3 yards left. So this dress, let's see what this calls for. So this calls for that, this fabric is 60 inches. So it called for 2 1/8 inches, which I would say is probably about right. I cut a little bit more than that because, as you know, I cut an extra, whatever I cut extra, something twice. Oh, the cowl neck, I cut 2 pieces of it. But yeah, I definitely have probably like 2.5 to 3 yards left of what I bought. You said you have a light blue. Yeah, I knew it came in several different colors. Yeah, it is a nice Thanksgiving dress. You are so right. Like, this is definitely something I would wear to Thanksgiving dinner. Because it's so comfortable. It's warm. It's actually pretty warm too. So this is something where you go, you could eat, and you don't have to feel like your stomach is constricted, because guess what? You got this nice dress on and it's hiding everything it needs to hide. So yeah, so this, for those that don't know, thank you so much, Angela. This pattern is New Look 6683. We did the entire dress on the serger. It took us about 1.5 hours, maybe a little less. It'll probably take you a little less at home to do it because you won't be, talking in between. I did this one without the pockets. I timed myself. It was 45 minutes after I cut out everything. So again, this has no pockets in it. No pockets, and no cowl neck. But the cowl neck doesn't take much longer. And then the sleeves are 3/4 inch sleeves. So it has less of this, but it does have some bunching in it, but way less than this. So yeah, it's a very quick sew, very, very quick sew. And Angela said, oh, Angela, are you on both sides? Is that you twice? Well, anyway, if it's not, Joann still has this fabric if you are interested, and it does come in multiple colors. So, and it's very comfortable. It washes well. I feel like it didn't have too much shrinkage from washing. So definitely get, you said, did I use a rib knit for the wrist or this? I used the same fabric for the wrist. Same fabric for the wrist and same fabric for the cowl neck. There's all the, I don't know if you can see it, but let me just show you there. Can you see that? It is all the same. Yeah. I think it would be okay. So the question is, would it be okay to use heavier sweater? I absolutely think it would be okay to use a heavier sweater with this. It is, I think it lends itself well to a heavy fabric. And I say that because, so when you're doing the cowl neck, you are, and the same thing when you're doing the armbands, you're folding it over. So you are literally doing 3 layers. You could easily have done another layer. So that 3 layers might be equivalent to like, one, if you had a really thick fabric. I'm saying all that to say, yes, I do think you could do this with a heavier sweater knit without problem, without issue at all. It's pretty straight lines. The curviest part that you're doing, honestly, is when you're putting the pockets in and you're going around that curve for the pockets. That's probably the most that you might have to navigate a little bit, but I don't even think that's going to be an issue at all, for sure. Yes, I do have the dress on. So here's the dress. So it's like I said, it's a loose fit. We played around a little bit and put the little bangle in to, cinch the waist a little bit. It does cinch it. But I love it. I think looks super cute. So I am going to hem the bottoms. So, but it's not going to make that much of a difference in terms of how it looks from your eye, but I will be doing a hem on the bottom, a really narrow hem. But it is super cute. I really, really like it. I love the neck. I probably would have made the neck a little bit more you know, cowl neck, like hang a little bit more. Hey Dee, welcome. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, I really like it. I definitely like it. So again, before I leave, I'll just, tell you a couple of little things that I did, or recommendations. If you like the looser fit, it is the sizing kind of, and it has a little bit of ease. I think, don't quote me on this, but I feel like it's about 5 inches. And it does say that it is made for sweater knit, fabric. But if you want a tighter fit, I would definitely, like, if I was to do this again and get a little bit tighter fit, I would probably go from a size 14, which is what I cut, to probably a size 10, which would give me a very tight, fit. It would definitely give me a tighter fit, but I don't think it would be too tight. So I would definitely downsize if you want a tighter fit. I do think it's appropriate for a thicker sweater fabric. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot of, curvy seams that you have to do, and not a whole lot of like overlapping. So if you had a thicker fabric, you would be fine. What else? Oh, so for this one, I did add some length to the sleeve because I wanted more gathering. I wanted more bunching up here, but I am going to just take it in just a teeny bit. I'm gonna use my serger, and I'm just gonna take it a teeny bit, not touching the armband itself, but just a little bit right here. So that way, if I do wanna wear it down here, it will still give me the bunching, but not be like way, you see how it's long. That's because I added a lot to the end. I added I think 3 or 4 inches to the end, just because I wanted to have a much more bunched look. I also added 3 or 4 inches to the bottom because I wanted to be a little bit longer. This is the original length. These are not the original sleeves. These I actually cut 5 inches off the sleeve to give a 3/4 length sleeve. So it still has a little bit of the bunching when I push it up, but if I wear it straight, it has still a little bit, but not as much. And then this has the flat neck, and this has the cowl neck. I think that's it. It's pretty straightforward. It took me 45 minutes to do this 100% on the serger, and it took us about an hour. It's hour and a half total sewing time. I would say, minus me talking, probably an hour 15 or so. So it's a very quick sew, and you can do it 100% on the serger, which makes it even quicker sew, which is what we did. Thank you so much, Dee. Yes, this is definitely perfect for sweater weather, perfect for Thanksgiving. This is work, church. And then if you want to give a little bit more form fitting, definitely play around with the little bangles that you can, put on the inside, outside, front, back. That will give you some other looks, but also kind of cinches it in a little bit, gives you a little bit of, form fitting that will help you maybe take this to date night or brunch with your girlfriends, that kind of thing. Yeah, so definitely try it. Thank you, Aisha. So that is it. Again, thank you all for joining. I know y'all, this is the quickest live we've ever done. We broke records tonight, and maybe we might break some more records. So thank you all. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all next Friday. We are sewing. What are we sewing next Friday? I don't know what we're sewing next Friday, but we are sewing something next Friday, and we're going to have a good time. So I hope to see you all here. Thank you, Cree. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Dee, Angela, Belinda, Aisha. I appreciate all of you. And I know there's more of you that I'm not saying your names, but I appreciate that you all come and hung out with me. And look out for the pictures. I will definitely post some pictures tomorrow. Do I think if you add a kangaroo pocket to the front, you'll be able to be a casual look? Absolutely. If you add those pockets to the front, you will have I think it will make it much more casual for sure. And the pockets also give you the option to do some color blocking as well. So you can add a little bit. Thank you, Miss Alethea. Appreciate you for joining. Thank you, Adrienne. Adrienne, when you finish making it, please tag me. I want to see what you do. Or if you don't post it, send it to me in my inbox, because I definitely want to see what your what yours looks like. And who else said they were sewing it? Somebody else said they were sewing it. Is that Lisa? I think Lisa said she was sewing it. Well, when you sew it, please tag me. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Karen. Both Karens. Thank you all. Good night.